Hi, Phil Dixon. I'm an attorney here in Greenville. I came to school here in 1967, and then I went to law school, clerked for a judge for a year, and then came back to Greenville in 1975. So I've been here ever since. The university, plays, concerts, films, lecture series, athletic events. It adds an energy to the community that you wouldn't have otherwise. And I fell in love with it when I came to college here. And the people, too, are very different. I was born in the little town of Wake Forest, but grew up in Raleigh. But when I came here, I was surprised by the attitude people had. They were poor, poorly educated, mainly had to deal with their own problems. But they were very helpful and kind to people. My wife had cancer when our baby was 18 months old. 68 families came to us and brought us food, cut our grass, raked our leaves. They brought us so much food we had to buy a freezer to keep all the food in. They believe in paying it forward because they've not had people and resources to help that maybe the metropolitan areas have had in the past. And I love that about Eastern North Carolina. And they're very proud people, and they're very generous people. Well, I have a humble background. My father was the handyman for Wake Forest College in the town of Wake Forest. And I was about 7 years old when the college moved to Winston-Salem. Pretty dramatic to move from the Raleigh area to Winston-Salem, several hours away. And for a variety of reasons, my father wanted to move with the college, my mother did not. So they separated. So that was the beginning of a harsh time for us. We lived in a government housing project in Raleigh from the time I was about 10. And so we were poor, and football gave me a chance to come to Greenville and get a college education. And it was interesting because I got hurt almost immediately, and instead of sending me home on the bus, which is what I expected, the football coach here, Clarence Stasevich, was kind enough to take me around the campus and introduce me to some people who gave me a job as an orientation counselor, as a hall proctor in the dormitory, so I had my room free, and I worked in the cafeteria, so I got my meals free. And then back then we had a lot of first-generation college students, so there were national defense student loans and equal opportunity grants, and so I really owe it to a lot of people here to even have an education. And I was so grateful to be in college. No one in my family had an education beyond the 5th grade. Unlike so many students, I was not able to go to home. I wasn't able to go to home much. I was sort of stuck here. I didn't have a car, and I liked it here. It was the nicest place I'd ever lived. I liked the food in the cafeteria. I really enjoyed the people and developed a lot of friends here, so it became home to me very quickly. And at that time, the university had so many first-generation college students. The professors here were very kind and helpful to students. I mean, I had a professor offer to pay my tuition, help me buy my books, and they would always help you find a job or help you find a special project where you can make a little extra. As an orientation counselor, I got paid $3.05 an hour. I would show people around the campus. So I learned a lot about the campus and the history of the campus, and that was always a great joy to me to share that with other people. I became a business major because I thought it'd be great to be a banker, work 9 to 5, wear a suit every day. But then I took a business law course, and that intrigued me, and I thought, well, I could be a corporate lawyer. I clerked for a lady judge, one of the few ladies on the bench at the time, who had been a remarkable woman. And I learned a lot from her, getting to work one-on-one. And then I came here with a really fine law firm with good people who were real community-minded. And that encouraged me to get involved in the community, and I've really enjoyed that part of it too. My job today, which I've had this job for 45 years, is we have insight into what's happening in the future in Greenville. Because the people, I work at Greenville Utilities Commission as their attorney. If they're going to build some new development here, a new building, new industry, they have to come to us first because they're going to need water, sewer, gas, and electricity. So we have sort of the secrets that we get of there's this new business coming, or somebody's going to hire 500 new people, or they're going to build a $15 million addition, or the campus is going to expand. And that's really exciting sometimes to be a part of that. One of the things that I considered was staying in a place like Raleigh, but you'd be lost in the sea of people, and you wouldn't really have an opportunity to have any input into the future of your community, it seemed to me. But here, there's so many needs. If you're willing to get involved and anxious to get involved, you can do so easily and leave a footprint. It's amazing what you can accomplish by brute strength and awkwardness sometimes, by just believing in something and pushing forward and making things happen. When I came to Greenville, we did not have a 4-lane east of Raleigh. And thanks to the governor, Jim Hunt, we finally got a 4-lane, but not before a lot of people worked really hard to make that happen. And it's changed everybody's lives. I mean, it used to take me an hour and 45 minutes to get to Raleigh. It takes me an hour now. When I came here, we had 26,000 people. We had less than 10,000 students. Today, we have close to 100,000 people, and we have nearly 30,000 students. And then to see the university gain university status, the medical school, the dental school, and I was able to, through some involvement, be a part of all that. I remember when we were trying to get the dental school of medicine, we had 11 votes on the Board of Governors, and we needed 18. So between Monday and Thursday night, somehow that happened. And once we got the majority of the votes, it became something that has had a real impact on our community. We had 29 counties that had no dentist or only one dentist over 55 who was ready to retire. And now we've got 10 satellite learning centers all across the state, one near the Tennessee border. You won't believe this, but in my practice, 1 in 5 people I see can't read and write. And people are shocked to hear that. They're very good people. They're sometimes very successful people. But they have achieved in spite of all the deficiencies they have to deal with in life. Poverty and health and education, and it really is incredible to see the metamorphosis that some of these people go through when they come to the university and get an education. When they get out and start working hard, because they're hardworking people and they're caring people, I think it makes a difference. I think my superpower is leadership. To be a leader, you've got to be able to do every bad job there is, every grunt job there is, and you've got to sort of take an organization that you volunteer to and do everything that you're asking someone else to do first and work your way up into the organization. But once you've done that and people have seen you sort of earn your right to lead, and I've been real blessed. I have taken on usually a big project, at least one big leadership role every year, and I've really enjoyed it. It's enriched my life. I've headed up the Chamber, the United Way, the Museum of Art. I've been president of the Pirate Club, the Alumni Association. I've been chairman of the Board of Trustees at Pitt Community College and ECU. I've been on the Board of Governors, the UNC Board of Governors, for 8 years. And at every turn, there's a great demand for people who will stand up and speak their mind and speak the truth. And that's not an easy thing to do sometimes, because politics and hard feelings sometimes get in the way. But it was a no-brainer for them to put a dental school here because they had a dramatic need for people to be served, a great need for the medical school. But somebody's got to raise hell to make it happen, and got to stand up and say, we deserve a 4-lane highway in eastern North Carolina. And that advocacy is real important. And the funny thing is, I was a very shy person growing up. I was a good athlete, but I wasn't a good public speaker. And so I was very nervous about speaking in front of people. But I got over that. And I think that's what it really takes, is somebody raising their hand and standing up and saying, how can you justify that decision? I know this sounds crazy, but I hope we find a cure for cancer. It's affected so many people that I know, and it affected my wife, it affected my son, it affected me, and I have to think there's an opportunity there. The problem we're having right now is we'll bring someone in from Englehart and Hyde County, and we'll resolve their medical problem, but we send them back to the same situation and circumstances environmentally, so 5 years later they're back here with the same problem. And we've got to do something to address that through integrated medicine. One of the nice things is the School of Rural Public Health that's on the horizon for us will address those issues, not relying on doctors just necessarily, but nurse practitioners, physician assistants, PhDs in pharmacy, midwives. There's a lot of opportunities, and cancer is just one little area of focus. We're a calamity here in eastern North Carolina. We eat barbecue, we eat all sorts of things that are not good for us. We don't get enough exercise. People are so busy making a living sometimes they don't have time to take care of themselves. And so my biggest dream would be there would come a time when that is addressed.